It's not the avoidance of the fall that matters, but the art of rising with more wisdom and courage than before.
Have you ever felt crushed by a failure? Maybe a project at work went sideways, or you stumbled on a personal goal. It's a heavy feeling, isn't it? Today, we're going to flip the video on what it means to fail and how rethinking our response to failure can reveal an unexpected superpower. In our culture, failure is often seen as a mark of defeat, something to be avoided at all costs. But what if I told you that the path to success is paved with missteps, setbacks, and yes, failures? What if failing was one of the best things you could do on your path to success? Let's look into why being a loser might just be the key to unlocking your true potential, minus the typical cliches and motivational buzzwords. First, let's talk about the word loser. It's harsh, isn't it? Picturing someone as a loser often brings images of defeat and inadequacy. But this view is not only limited, it's also damaging. It ties our self-worth to success and makes any failure feel like a personal catastrophe. But every misstep brings us closer to understanding what doesn't work, sharpening our approach toward what will eventually work. Consider for a moment the process of learning to walk. Does a toddler who stumbles and falls get labeled a loser? Of course not. The falls are part of the learning process, essential to mastering walking. What if we could apply the same understanding and patience to adults learning through the failures in their lives? By adjusting our lens on what it means to lose, we begin to see failure not as a signal of defeat, but as a necessary step toward greater achievements. It's not about celebrating failures, but recognizing them as integral to the learning process. Failure teaches resilience, persistence, and flexibility, qualities essential for any significant accomplishment. Throughout history, many of the most successful figures have had a familiar backstory. They failed, often spectacularly, before they found success. While it's tempting to bring up well-known personalities who turn their failures into stepping stones, let's focus instead on the universal lessons drawn from such stories. These stories aren't just about overcoming failure, they're about the necessary experience of failure in achieving lasting success. History shows us that progress is often achieved not in spite of failure, but because of it. Each failed attempt is a lesson learned, pushing us closer to our goals. It's the process of trial and error that fosters innovation and discovery. If you've never failed, you've likely never tried anything new or challenging, and without taking on new challenges, growth is stunted. Let's look into the psychology of failure. Why is the fear of failing so intense? For many, it's tied to our self-image and societal expectations. Failure can make us feel exposed and vulnerable, shaking the foundation of how we see ourselves and how we think others see us. This fear can be paralyzing, preventing us from taking risks or trying anything outside of our comfort zones. Understanding the psychological impact of failure can help us change our response to it. Cognitive behavioral strategies, for example, teach us to question and reframe the irrational beliefs that underlie our fear of failure. Instead of viewing a setback as a reflection of our capabilities, we can see it as an opportunity to gather insights and improve. By recognizing the irrational fear of failure, we can begin to dissociate our self-worth from our successes and failures. This shift is crucial for maintaining mental health and long-term happiness. It allows us to approach challenges with a mindset that is open to all outcomes, not just the successful ones. Now let's explore resilience, a trait often forged in the fires of failure. Resilience is not just bouncing back, it's about growing through your experiences, whether they lead to triumphs or setbacks. It's about maintaining your course amid storms and stresses, knowing that each challenge is an opportunity to learn something valuable. Building resilience starts with changing how we react to failure. Instead of shutting down or feeling defeated, resilient individuals look for the lessons in their experiences. They ask questions like, "What can I learn from this?" and "How can I do better next time?" This mindset shifts the focus from what went wrong to how future attempts can be improved. Resilience also involves maintaining a long-term perspective. While a particular failure might seem overwhelming in the moment, viewing it in the context of your larger life journey can provide perspective and lessen its sting. It's about recognizing that the road to success is rarely a straight line. There are ups and downs, but each step, even the backward ones, can help propel you forward if you let them. Let's consider how societal pressures and expectations can influence our fear of failure. In many cultures, There's a strong emphasis on success as a measure of worth. This societal lens can make failure seem like a public humiliation. We worry about what people will think, how they'll judge us, and this fear can keep us from attempting anything where success isn't guaranteed. Challenging these societal norms is both liberating and necessary. It starts with questioning the assumptions around success and failure. Why should failure be hidden or considered shameful? Isn't it just as honorable to try and fail as it is to try and succeed? By adjusting our societal views on failure, we encourage more people to take risks, innovate, and ultimately contribute to a richer, more diverse set of life experiences. When we lessen the stigma around failure, we foster an environment where people feel safe to express and share their setbacks. This openness not only promotes mental and emotional health, but also leads to communities and workplaces where learning from failure is encouraged. As a result, everyone benefits from shared experiences and wisdom, leading to better collective problem-solving and innovation. Now, how can we start to accept failure in a practical way? It begins by setting the stage for learning. When starting on any new venture, acknowledge from the start that failure is a possible outcome. This acknowledgement isn't about expecting to fail, it's about preparing to learn from whatever outcome occurs. Another practical step is to redefine goals. Instead of setting only outcome-based goals, I must win this race. Set learning-based goals. I want to improve my time. This shift not only reduces pressure, but also enriches your experience, making the journey just as valuable as the destination. Accept the concept of failing forward. Each failure is a step forward in your learning and growth. Instead of viewing it as a setback, see it as progress. Progress towards understanding, towards improvement, and ultimately towards mastery. This perspective keeps you moving forward no matter the obstacles. Understanding the value of a strong support system is the next step in harnessing the power of failure. Support systems, whether they consist of friends, family, or professional networks, provide encouragement, advice, and sometimes a necessary reality check. They are crucial in helping us navigate through the disappointments and encouraging us to persevere. Building a reliable support system starts with being selective about who you surround yourself with. Seek out individuals who are not only supportive in times of success, but who also offer constructive feedback and encouragement when things don't go as planned. These people see the potential in you, even when you might not see it yourself. Maintaining this support network also involves reciprocity. Being there for others in their times of need builds stronger, mutual relationships. It creates a community where members feel safe to take risks and share their failures without fear of judgment, knowing they are supported. This support network acts as a sounding board. Discussing your failures openly with trusted individuals can lead to new insights and strategies. It turns a personal setback into a collective brainstorm session, where the focus shifts from what went wrong to how different approaches can be implemented in the future. Now let's talk about transforming the pain of failure into a powerful motivator. This transformation involves recognizing that the discomfort and disappointment of failing are not just inevitable, but also invaluable. They are your greatest teachers, imparting lessons that comfort and success cannot. First, acknowledge the pain. Denying it only prolongs the discomfort and potentially leads to greater fear of failure in the future. Accept that it hurts, allow yourself to feel disappointed, but don't dwell there. Use this as a stepping stone. Ask yourself, what is this experience teaching me? Next, utilize tools like mindfulness to manage your emotional response. Mindfulness helps you observe your feelings about failure without judgment. It allows you to experience them as they are, which reduces their intensity and helps you gain clarity. From this clarity, you can start to see failure not as an endpoint, but as a part of the process of achieving your goals. Accept the energy that comes from this pain into your next actions. Use the lessons learned to fuel your determination to try again, perhaps with a new approach informed by your recent experience. This doesn't just apply to big projects or professional goals, but also to everyday challenges and interactions. It's about making a conscious choice to use each experience as a catalyst for growth, rather than a barrier. By accepting failure, nurturing resilience, cultivating a supportive network, and transforming setbacks into motivational tools, we not only overcome our fears, but also propel ourselves towards true growth and success. Remember, it's not the failure that defines us, but how we respond to it. every failure carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit, ready to be discovered and utilized. This narrative isn't just about accepting failure, it's about welcoming it as an essential, enriching part of the human experience. So the next time you face a setback, consider it an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to move one step closer to your goals, powered not in spite of your failures but because of them.